Hi guys, Paul here, PABrewNews. Home from work, at the parents' house, down in the dungeon yet again, cracking open a beer right now from a Lagunitas. Not exactly sure how clear I am. I think I do have full bars of LTE. So there you go. Blah 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 blah. Orangutan. Blah, blah. Okay, here we go. This is the Lagunitas Old Gnarly Wine. Now I thought there was a date on it because I've had about 3 bottles of these over the years. I thought it was like a 2014, but I can't see it anymore. 10.9 alcohol by volume. Limited release, Lagunitas Old 17. Thank you. Well, if you use the English language and understand how letters get put together and make words, you understand it's 2017. I don't know why I thought 14. Oh, because that other beer that I was drinking was 14. This is 17 because I had 3 bottles of it. This is their 2017 Old Gnarly Wine, coming in at 10.9 alcohol by volume. Obviously a barley wine styled ale, so American barley wine styled ale, heavily hopped, which I'm not a big fan of. I like the more old English style barley wines, but we'll see how this has matured in the dungeon. So 3 years on this one. Shove it in the glass. Shove it in, drop it in. So we'll just pop you right there to us. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good sir. Good morning, good sir. Good morning to you. Okay, so just so you can see it again. Old Gnarly Wine, 2017 Old Gnarly Wine. I should have put that in the tagline, but here we go. Let's see, tip, tip. There we go. There we go. Okay, up to the light. Nice cascading bubbles, carbonation, still lively brew coming up from the pinnacle of the glass. You have orange, caramel, muted caramel hints, tones, orange tones, a little bit of a slightly off-white head. Has a little bit of that muted orange kind of tonality in the head as well. Alcohol legs sticking a little bit, looks a little thin. From what I remember, I do believe it was a bit thin for what I like a barley wine to be, because it's not frozen or anything, there you go. And morning to you, good sir. Okay, this, I could say, yeah, I can still see the alcohol leg sticking from that 10.9% alcohol by volume. Good way to end my work day and start any morning with a 10.9% beer, so that's good. On this misty, cloudy, I can see the mist, there's mountains in the background, but it's misty. So the mist is in the back, and the clouds. So they and the telephone pole right there. There it is. So, yo, brother Craig. Good morning to you, good sir. Let us get an aroma on this. Cheers. Wow. Musty, dusty. Got that little bit of a not the vegetable celery. Celery. Kind of musty smell. Those kind of like stale hop smells. It was a very heavily hopped American barley wine, so that makes sense. So, and then with that too, that musty, dusty celery kind of stale hop tone, you have a lot of tonalities of burnt sugars, those burnt toasted sugars, kind of mixing with that as well. Caramel. Hint of a brown sugar raisin. Maybe kind of, it has that kind of reminiscence of when you get certain chocolates, caramel chocolates, those kind of things, but they're sugar-free. Those kind of sugar-free, got that kind of tonality to it. I've been getting off work in a half an hour and headed home for a brew myself, but that's good. Have a big old one, Nice session strength, 10.9, so you can have a few of them. Punch a cow, do whatever you do. I had to stop by the road because there was a big cow on the way. to work 2 days ago, and I said, "Hey, buddy, get out of the way." Pat, 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 and moved, and I could go. This big stinky cow. I don't think I was done talking about the aroma yet, was I? I just drank it. Well, talking about work makes me want to drink. But yeah, there's a little bit of a muted tonality of those burnt caramels, you know, brown sugar, raisin, muted stale hops, and then that kind of slightly earthy tone, peppery tone still kind of lingering around in the background. There's a hint of an orange, very soft. And carries through all the way through. There's that still that core sense of like a very peppery, spicy hop right dead in the middle. That has stayed, and all those kind of subtle fruity hops have dissipated over the years. A little bit of a muted tonality of a stale hop in the background, mixing with those burnt caramel tonalities, a little bit of that brown sugar kind of hints. Well, it wraps around a little bit with a little bit of a hint of a caramel, soft orange tonality as well. This is one of those beers that kind of have the same idea with Bigfoot, which I think I might have a Bigfoot downstairs. I could probably do too, if I didn't just take it home and drink it. Maybe. But I had the vintaged Bigfoot, and these beers, they just don't seem to blossom with age. Certain American barley wines, they don't seem to change too much with age. I don't want to sound like a dick, because, you know, they're not bad, but they just don't, like with a good, properly brewed, thick, hearty, British, English barley wine. They become absolutely amazing with age. A lot of these overly hopped, and I think that's the key term, overly hopped American barley wines, they don't initially have the malt base to age properly, to really go to the full fruition of what a nice big huge old English barley wine should be. And those hops, man, they just get blankety, they get stale, they get cardboardy, and they linger. They do linger, and that takes a little bit away from the savory aspects that would come with age with the American barley wines as well. So I think that's a thing. It's just, you're basically just making an American strong ale. I think you know, a hopped up American strong ale, almost calling it a barley wine is kind of like a misnomer, because then you're thinking, okay, I can age this, you know, it's a barley wine, it's, you know, it should get better with age and all this stuff, like a good English barley wine should. But then again, I don't know. Are we just making English strong ales? Who knows? Because English strong ale seems to be a definitely different category in England. So, to me, a lot of these triple IPA, they were trying to call a lot of triple IPAs. They were trying to still classify them as an American barley wine, and honestly, you know, that's what they were. Every time someone came out with a triple IPA, oh, then they were like, oh, it's American barley wine. That's what you're trying to do here. But really, American strong ale. I think it would be easier to fall into the category of an American strong ale than anything else. High ABV, you know, bold body, but not too thick, heavy on the hops to try to counterbalance some of that sweetness from the malt base, and lots of ABV again. Just boom, you know what I mean? So, and it's one of those ones where, how do I say, you know, maybe American strong ale, American barley wine, and a triple IPA, maybe they live in the same house, but they don't share the same room, if you know what I mean. But it's muddled, you know what I mean, the same family. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Yeah, a little nuance of an orange still left. I have a lot of beer. That's good. Drinks very, very nicely for 10.9%. Probably reached that final 11. I wouldn't be surprised if it did get that 0.1% in the aging process, even a little bit. Has a nice, lovely carbonation still, which is nice. Not too much. just a nice little lively carbonation. Barley wines can be awesome. I mean, they can be absolutely fantastic. I believe like a good bourbon barrel aged barley wine that is 4, 5, 6 years old, English style barley wine that's 4, 5, 6 years old is some of the best beer you can ever drink. And harvest ales are kind of like barley wines. Harvest ales, again, English strong ale, harvest ale, English barley wine, where we draw on the line here. J.W. Lee's harvest ale is considered an old ale, I do believe, but it drinks like a beautiful barley wine. It's a little thinner, but age is amazing. There's actually the one what was it? I think it was Hardywood's. Was it Hardywood's from Virginia, Richmond, Virginia? They had a English barley wine, and that was really, really, really nice. And I had a couple of those sitting for a while, and they were very good too. Love my barley wines. I just never have enough of them. Well, you can't have enough of them. That's just impossible, because then you would drown and you'd be dead. And because I just can't. Once I get a good one, I never want to stop drinking it. The one of those ones that, again, it's classified as a harvest ale, an old ale, but you know, barley wine kind of thing. I always kind of like throw it in the barley wine category, maybe because I'm a bastard like that. But bastard. J.W. Lee's Harvest Ale 2013, the Oloroso cask version, the apple brandy. Oh my God. Apple brandy and a barley wine, or an old ale, or a harvest ale. When you put those together, oh man, does that just blow your brains off. It's so good, so good. I just there's so many more out there too, which is really, you know, keeps you kind of like in the game a little bit, because there's still more and more and more breweries out there that we haven't tried yet, that I know that are still sitting, you know, barley wines on the shelves, and they're getting dusty and they're getting good, you know what I mean? So there's a brewery from Quebec, I think it's in the Quebec area. It's in Quebec, the province, at least in Canada, called the Three Musketeers. Yes, it's written in French, and I'm not the Trois Musketeers and stuff like that. But when they do these, or they did a double bock, that's fucking fantastic. They did a Baltic Porter, that was fucking fantastic. I'd like to see what they would do with a big barley wine, because not many people talk about the Trois Musketeers, you know what I mean, or however you say it in French. But everything I've had from them has been absolutely 10 out of 10 phenomenal. They just make, and I've never had a craft beer from them. They might be a craft brewery considered, but the traditional styles they've done, pretty fucking fantastic. And I'm watching a bunny play in the distance through the trees. Very nice. That's good. There's a spiciness you can feel, like a soft warmth and a spiciness around your palate. I think that's a little bit of the ethanol alcohol is coming through, that 10.9. Plus that's those, even though there's a lot of muted stale hops in there, that, like, again, that's a lot of pepperiness, a lot of spiciness, kind of is still lingering around the palate. It's very earthy, and again blends with those more toasted sugars, burnt sugars in the beer that have come out more with age. It is a moody morning. It's a nice, broody, moody morning. Here's the rest of it too. Right there. Of course, this is not bottle conditioned. This is just a regular old bottle, CO2, the whole deal. Yep, nothing in there. Crystal clear. Crystal clear. But I mean, it's a very beautiful looking beer. You can't say that's proper. That's proper. Very pretty beer. Now Lagunitas, and there's a squirrel as the Germans say. But now Lagunitas got bought out, I guess, a little bit. I haven't noticed a difference. I've noticed their distribution has gotten better, which was one of the major pluses to getting a share into something bigger. They can pay their employees more, which is a great thing. They're excuse me. They released, excuse me again. They're in the local Sheets where I go for food and stuff, and I just did that Sheets beer here recently. How much was that bomber? This bomber of 10.9% old Gnarlywine style ale was $4.72 for this. Under $5 for a bomber of barley wine that's 10.9. And that's another thing about Lagunitas and why they're so fucking fantastic, because the prices are just fucking stupid. And even when there was a real legitimate, like, single-owned small craft brewery, I used to get their cappuccino stout, which was 10%, 9 or 10%, one of the best coffee stouts on the market at the time. And this is 6 years ago or something like that, 7 years ago. Maybe more now, because my reference of time is really bad. If you talk to me, you'll find that out. $5.19. I still remember the price. $5.19 for a bomber of this, and I bought every bomber that they ever had, because $5.19 was just stupid. It was amazing. It was amazing, beautiful coffee stout. Tasted good. The body was a little bit thin, but it added to the drinkability. But for $5, you know what I mean? Outrageously good. And as brother Craig from Kent Beer Reviews just said, outrageous. It is outrageous. Stupidly priced. I remember a bottle of not this. Kevin Clements, the sexiest man on YouTube, from Clements Homebrew, sent me a bottle of this size of the Willetized Imperial Stout, which is their Imperial Stout brewed, which was, it was 14.2. I'm saying, I mean, this was, I was still married back then. This was 6-7 years ago. Again, 8-7 years ago, that in the area. He sent me a bottle of Willetized Imperial Stout in a bomber. And this was, you know, 14.2. It was stupid. $8.99 a bottle. $8.99 American a bottle, which I just got a stupid text from a stupid person. I'm gonna have to tell them how stupid they are. Just stupid. But anyway, $8.99 a bottle for a 14% bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. That when I had this 8 years ago, it was comparative. It was. I will say that, hand on the face. Comparative to Parabola. Damn good. Fucking damn good. It was damn good. $8.99. Because I'm like, you know, oh, I'm just like marveled by the label and the ABV, and I'm just, oh my god. I think I reviewed it. I'm pretty sure I reviewed it. I mean, I'd be hard pressed if I didn't review it. It might be one of those reviews that kind of got lost in translation because of computers or internet or some bullshit. But I remember just picking it up because my couch used to be on the one side, and I used to watch movies right here. And I used to sit it down. I was sitting in and pouring, sitting. I was like, oh, it's gone. And then I picked it up and I was really looking at it. And I saw the price tag. It was like on the back. I'm like, $8.99. Holy fuck! I would have sent him my whole paycheck. Just send me a crate. Send me a whole crate of this shit. But still. I bought all the ones they had of that at $4.72 a bottle, and I'd do it again if I could, because it's still a fine beer. Yeah, there is a lovely slight hint, now it's warming up even more from the cellar, a slight hint of a grapefruit quality underneath that orange. It's still a fine beer. I've drank I mean, back in the day, where I live now, not where I live now, back in the day, here, aged IPAs was fresh on the shelf, you know. And I remember I used to go up, we did a beer review on, it was a BDU, I believe I was privy to, and I joined the one time, and I didn't join many BDUs because of work schedules and shit, but I joined a BDU once. On Maxwell Star's channel, I do believe either Lee Russells or Maxwell Stars. Correct me if I'm wrong, one of you two. But it was Stone, I believe it was. It was it was Stone's Arrogant Bastard Ale, which I've never liked. Never liked it. Just didn't like it. But I got it fresh, and they're like, "Hey, we just got this on the shelf." I was like, "Good, I can get it. Yeah, wow." You know what I mean? So I went back and I got this bottle of fresh on the shelf Arrogant Bastard Ale. It was out of date, not old, out of date by 9 months. Fresh on the shelf for like $11 a bottle. There you go. So Stone's coming into my area, out of date, 9 months, fresh on the shelf with a $9, $10 price tag. This is coming in fresh with a $5 price tag, and it doesn't matter if it's the Sucks. Sucks came in quart bottles though, the big bottles. Sucks came in big bottles for like $8. It was a quart of beer. Yuengling does quarts too. It's very rare to find quart bottles of craft beer or whatever, or even regular beer, because then you're getting into the 40 category, and that's the malt liquor, that kind of thing. But I know a place that usually does, they used to anyway, they used to sell quart bottles of Yuengling. And honestly, because that's the local beer and that's tradition and that's the way it is, it's the oldest American brewery, 1872 or something like that, I think that's still cool that you can go get a quart bottle of Yuengling at the local, Subway, not Subway, but sub shop in Berwick and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. So I might poo-poo on the actual stuff that's in the container, but I do like the tradition, and I do like, that the container itself does reminisce like nice times, and like, oh no, that's be proud of the stuff brewed in your local area and the people employed there and the thing that makes the world go around, kind of thing. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not a big Yuengling fan. I'm not really gonna, Iron City. I don't really like Iron City. I had Iron City. God, it was horrible. I'll never do that again. But I like the Iron City can. I have an Iron City can from the 70s because it's traditional. It's the Pittsburgh area. It's where half of my family came from. It's what you do, and I like that. But I wouldn't drink it. Not twice. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I'm not doing that. I'm not making that mistake again, motherfucker. I was supposed to give my thoughts on this sooner because I don't want to pontificate too much and shoot the shit. This is still nice. 2017. It's got 3 years on it. I don't think it's going to age well. If you've got this in your cellar, drink it at your leisure. I've had older versions of this too, and it really it's got that crux of most American barley wines. They don't actually age correctly. They kind of fall a little bit flat, and they're bombarded. It's a battle too, because you got the malt base trying to age. And a lot of times they don't have the sturdiest malt base to begin with. Have you ever noticed that? A lot of the English barley wines are a little lackadaisical on the malt base. But you have the malt base, and then you have these heavy hops, and they're changing, and they're getting staler. And then, of course, that malt base has to combat that staleness to keep that savory tone. And I think it kind of falls flat a little bit. So, but it's still an 8 out of 10. I would pick this up. If I saw more of the 2017 right now, for the same price tag, I'd still buy every single one because it's still tasty. It's way better than most beers, than most IPAs, like really crappy IPAs, the kind of like fake craft IPAs where there's like, some shitty craft brewery that just makes IPAs. I would drink this way before I drink any of that crap. Even if that was fresh, I'd still drink this. You know what I mean? So it's got its merits. It really does. 8 out of 10. I'm not having a problem giving this 8 out of 10. And just for, memory's sake, it's actually really cool to go back and find a beer from a brewery that you have if the brewery has undergone changes, let's say. Like say like the brewery isn't around anymore, or the brewery got bought by someone else, it's a different name, or they got bought out by, you know, a major company and they're brewing, you know, macro crap now, or something like that. But you can go back like, oh, I remember this fucking guy. Remember this shit when they were king shit. You know what I mean? I mean the guys, Green King. I mean, in England, because Brother Craig is watching. You know, I mean, if remember that, you know, I'm sure people still cling on to some of their old bottles of. They make Hobgoblin, like Witchwood. Oh, what the fuck do they call it? Is it Witchwood? Trying to remember. They make Hobgoblin. I think it's Witchwood Brewing Company. They make Hobgoblin and Goblin King and shit like that. You know what I mean? So you hold on to that stuff because now they got bought out by Marston's. But Green King used to, you know, be a separate brewery. I mean, old stuff. I mean, like, I know there's a good damn chance that Terry from Terry's Quick Beer Reviews has old stuff, you know, just like when, you know, Dartmouth and stuff, they have stuff, and the Jailhouse Ales, and I just can't even remember Robinson's Brewing Company. And I went back when Robinson just made proper British bitters and stuff like that before they got like more, you know, mass marketed and stuff for the community. I mean, it's just, I think that shit's cool. I mean, finding old shit. There's Bateman's. Bateman's is one. There is a case in a fucking apparently this guy's grandmother was English. So they're, I mean, the mother and father right now of this guy is, they're like 80. But the grandmother was originally English. So there were shit tons of like George Gale's stuff. I bought both cases. Unfortunately, they didn't store the case correctly. So George Gale's Prize Old Ale, was it Prize Old? No, Conquest Ale. I loved Conquest Ale. The video's up. I had a big beard. The video for Conquest Ale is on my channel. Loved the beer, right? 2006. I bought the case. It's all vinegar because they didn't store it correctly. Yeah, exactly. The Marston's sold out to Carlsberg. So even a big English business that was like umbrellaed, they were now under a bigger umbrella. And Carlsberg can suck a dick. You know, there you go. But this George Gale's Conquest Ale, it has corks in the bottle. So you need to store it on the side to keep the corks wet. If you keep the corks wet, you keep the oxygen out, and then it doesn't get oxidized. If you're not in the know, and I don't blame these people, because you're not in the know, and I should have thought of that before I bought the case, because obviously it was stored straight for how fucking long. Why didn't I go 1 2 1 2 and realize, hey, this will probably be fucking vinegar, and it was vinegar. So there you go. So that's on me. That's on me. I can't blame them. Now they have a Festivus mild there. I didn't buy, and I really want to, because it's a mild, and I like milds, and even if it's a bad mild that's 12 fucking years, or no, 20 years old and tastes like shit, I kind of still want to buy it. And they have the coolest thing there. They have Bateman's Triple XB bitter there, and it has the craziest bottle style and label, and the cardboard that's surrounding the box is so thick, like properly old made cardboard, but so like brittle that if you touch it, it'll just break in half because it's so old. I was like, I'm gonna have to buy that too. And there's other ones, RHC, that's the Ale Mary, and I'm having a great time drinking those. I bought a case of that. I'm having a great time drinking that Ale Mary from the RHC Brewing Company that's no longer around anymore. And another one, it's called Calamity Ale, but I don't believe they used this particular label on their Calamity Ale for 20 years, you know what I mean? So there's that just sitting there, and I'm like, oh boy. Now they do have some other ones, some English IPAs and stuff, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna steer clear of those, because they're just gonna be cardboard. That's all. They're just gonna be like bitter sugar water and cardboard. I don't know, it's not gonna be good. But I don't know, it's so cool going through an old, like for instance, that some of that shit has been there, because we're, you know, the people that go up there, you just buy their Coors Light, Banquet, Millers, and then you walk out, Budweiser, and that's it. They don't look at stuff. They don't understand the beer. Their Ballast Point got bought out a while ago, and they have a case of their ballast points Victory at Sea High Westified. So High West bourbon or whiskey. They have High West whiskey, barrel aged Victory at Sea there. So I'm like, yeah, I need to buy that. Like, I don't care. Like, I think it's even like $80, something like that, something stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I better go up there and grab that. And no one else is buying it. It's gonna sit there. Nobody knows about it. Like, just nobody cares in this area. No one understands beer. No one understands breweries and different things. They have they actually, this one it made me excited too. They have the Tri-Choir. I think it was their Jacobite or House Ale there, a case of it, old as fuck. Because how long was Tri-Choir? I think Craig knows Tri-Choir. They're from Scotland. When did that come into America? When the hell did I review those? That had to be 7 years ago that Tri-Choir hit America. So that's probably as old as that. When I first bought Tri-Choir, because I've never seen Tri-Choir here since. So it has to be that old. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck it, just sitting there for $30. And I go, fuck yeah. So I'm kind of, it's a gamble, because, you know, some of these might just be bad. And fair play. But if you get a case that's amazing, then you're in for the good stuff, because the guy's also realizing you're buying shit that's fucking 10 years old, might not be good. He's gonna give you a deal, because if you talk to him long enough before, you can't just walk up and start buying big cases and stuff. You have to talk to him more. You have to sweeten the deal. You have to get him like on your side, and then you go, hey, I'll just get this. You know, I don't know, I mean, it's really old, I can tell this, but like, I'll try it. And they go, oh, let me give you a deal. Yeah, you better give me a deal. You know what I mean? That's good. I think I got that case of Werewolf. There's a Lithuanian brewing company. I think it's called like Rinaskovsky, something like that. I can't say it right now because I can't remember it. But they make a very strong European lager called Werewolf. That thing was old as fuck. I bought it, and the Werewolves, 8.2% alcohol by volume. They're delicious. They're absolutely delicious, and I'm really enjoying drinking them. So. Actually, I had a Werewolf when I was in Paulsville, Washington, when I used to date Liberty back in the day. And because she was holding the camera, I think, when I was reviewing it on my channel. And honestly, I like them now more than then, because it's aged, and they age fucking amazing. So, happy days. Happy days. There's that fucking rabbit. But, you know, I'm just enjoying my beer. I mean, I'm probably going to do what I normally do and drink... this beer until it's gone and call it a day. So I was gonna watch some more Jim Cornette talking about old wrestling. I have a NWA wrestling from 1984 with the Road Warriors and shit I'll probably watch too. And I have a metal detector in the truck that I have to try out. Very excited. Just bought a metal detector, getting some stuff around for this winter. Hiking, fishing, trapping, hunting, the whole deal. I'm gonna try to get everything around. I don't know if it's this winter. If it's this winter, it'd be awesome. Probably not gonna be though. But I want to go into, I understand if you're in like Alaska, Montana, and blah blah blah, because I've been there. Well, not Alaska, but Montana. I'm gonna say mountains, and please give me with a grain of salt. Mountains, the mountains of PA, like literally in the middle of nowhere, no cell phone reception, no people for 30, 40, 50 miles at least. I'm gonna go up there. I'm buying a tent with a canvas wall tent. That's the plan. And I want to go up there in January when it's -20, 10, 0. And I'm gonna go up there with my truck and my tent and some stuff, and I want to just hang out for like a week in the middle of nowhere and just do my thing and survive. And I might film it, might do a little videography. I don't know if anyone wants to actually see that though, but I was thinking about doing like a little videography, like, yeah, what's up, first day here, got my shit set up, I guess let's try not to freeze to death tonight. Yay. You know what I mean? And see what I get up to during the week, and I want to stay the whole week. I know a week's not long. I understand that, but it'd be my first try at doing something like that. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. You know, bring the axe up, not bring a chainsaw or anything like that. Just bring an axe up, bring my shit up, my own pack and my own tent, and just kind of sled out that way. Put it on the sled and hike it out where I'm gonna hike. Park the car somewhere a couple miles down the road and just hike everything in the middle of nowhere. Set it all the fuck up and just do my own thing in the middle of nowhere. Snow. It'll be late season archery, muzzleloader, and it will be trapping season. So just me up in the mountains by myself, wild man kind of thing. Maybe I'll get raped by badgers or something. There's no badgers here, but I can import them and they can rape me. That'll be fun. So I don't know. Maybe that won't be interesting though, but we'll see. Yeah. But there is out that way. I got that metal detector out the way that I was gonna go camping later. Actually, I'm gonna do part of the Appalachian Trail this year with my dad. I think that's gonna be super awesome because we're gonna take fly poles out because you can fly fish a lot of that creek. Some of that creek in the Pine Creek, they can only fly fish. So I'm gonna bring my fly fishing pole, and then we're gonna bring some regular rods too, and we're gonna camp, fly fish, rod and reel fish, and just catch stuff, camp, maybe like a 2-day trip. But anytime with my dad's a good time, so that's good. But I got that metal detector, and what was it? Maston is a ghost town out that way where I was going to go camping, because it used to be all logging back in the day. It used to be a logging company, and they used to be train tracks. And what happened was they would used to log everything, and they'd ox it down into the trains. When they load up the train would go from there through Jersey Shore and go all the way down to, I think it was Pottsville. And that's why, that's why there's so much railroad tracks and like kind of locomotive history in like Dew Shore, Eaglesmere, Dew Shore areas, because that was all logging. That's what happened up there. They had logging communities, and Maston is one of those giant logging communities that just disappeared. Just ghost town, gone. Now you just see like a couple things of foundations, standing stone for chimneys and stuff like that, and everything else is gone. You can't even see the railroad tracks anymore. They pulled most of them up because the railroad tracks weren't there. They oxed everything down to Hillsgrove, and then it would take it off for there. But if you go to Eaglesmere, there's the Jolly Trolley Museum. It was like a locomotive museum in Eaglesmere, and that's why it's there, because it was the Eaglesmere Railroad that actually took everything. And in Dew Shore, they used to have the Whistle Stop Bar. Awesome. It used to be awesome. Good port. I didn't drink a lot of beer back then, but my dad and I used to go up and hit a port, have some good food there. They made a really great French onion soup. That's closed now, sadly. But across the street, the Jolly Trolley diner, gift shop and stuff, that's still there. So, but there is a little bit of that kind of back history. There's a lot of cool little books too you can find now and again. I actually should buy them. Because I like that kind of shit anyway. But just especially if you're local in the PA area, you can find these little county books, and it's like these historical books all about the county, specific counties, Columbia County, and Sullivan County, and Lacombe County. You know what I mean? And it's amazing the shit that you can find out if you give a fuck about the area you live in. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, I didn't know that. Most people, like down the Pittsburgh area, they didn't even know there was a giant whiskey rebellion. They didn't even know that existed, where they would literally bury whiskey on the sides of the road so nobody could catch them. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the whole thing. It was like pre-prohibition craziness. And there was a lot of gun fighting. A lot of people died, but it was interesting because and it's kind of interesting protense because, like, okay, it didn't work then. At a small scale, it didn't work. Why do you think prohibition was going to work either? Asshole. Because history repeats itself. And that's a really big thing for today's age, because nobody seems to understand history and nobody seems to realize history repeats itself, because no one learns their lessons. Okay? It's a big thing. So many times someone tells me about what's happening in the news today or this, I'm like, yeah, you know what, that happened about, this many years ago. Guess what happened? We all died. You know what I mean? So there you go. Woohoo! Let's do it again. Wow. Oh, anyway, sponsorship. No, I'm not sponsored. But listening to a story by Jack London, who did like Call of the Wild, and he's doing the. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. Probably didn't say it right. Jack London did Call of the Wild. Was it Call of the Wild? The one in New York, and they had the husky, and it saved the guy's life, and blah blah blah. I can't think. Great White North kind of shit. But he did on Horror Babble. They're doing every Wednesday. They're doing a chapter of it. They're up to chapter 4 right now. It's called the Scarlet Plague, and it's basically kind of interesting about how the modern civilization was wiped out by this plague, and then there's only a couple of people left on a desolated beach, and the old guys talking about how life used to be, and everyone thinks he's crazy because they don't understand, because they're not educated. They're just basically savages. But it's a very interesting, and then it's kind of like not doomsday, but it's just one of those things. It's like, hey, people thought about shit like this before. This has happened before. And Spanish influenza. It's kind of the crazy thing about when they did Spanish influenza, though. Even later, they were digging up body pits of people that were infected that died because of the Spanish influenza, and just digging up the bodies that were centuries old, kind of made another outbreak of the goddamn thing. They had to treat it. It didn't go boom boom like plague explosions, but it was enough to infect a lot of people. Going, what the fuck? We didn't expect, to get shit like that from just unearthing very old remains. You think that would die out? And I always thought, because that happened in Virginia in those colonies, which I don't know, might have been one of the reasons why a lot of people just disappeared. But then you'd find the bodies. It just always remind me of when people would say, like, the curse of the mummy's tomb and stuff like that, when people would die and stuff. It's like, oh, it's the curse. It's cursed. Well, maybe you're opening stuff that was sealed for a reason, and you're thinking it's a shrine, but maybe it was just like a quarantine almost, and you're opening up stuff, and like you're getting hit by a 5,000-year-old plague that's still alive in that sealed tomb. He kept everybody safe because they sealed it away, but then and only you were the one that was really exposed to it, but at the same time you didn't give it to anybody else. So it's like, oh, he died, it must have been the mummy's curse. I don't know. I mean, shit, because honestly, there have been people that have their whole team has been croaked because of after they did shit like that. So it's just something to think about. Crazy stuff, but that's just me drinking a beer. That's what I do. It's my thing. Yeah, even though this is pretty built up around here, even though there's like a main road in front of the house kind of thing, it's pretty quiet around here. It's not too bad. My dad and I have spent a few nights now just drinking a shit ton of beer and listen to a lot of music out here, which is good. I like that. I got poison oak though last time I was here, but it went away. I had it for about 4 days and it buggered off, and then this time it did get on my dick, so I'm really happy about that, because usually when I get poison it goes fucking everywhere, and it didn't this time, and I'm like, yay, happy days. So thank you to my one follower. Thank you very much, or viewer I should say. This is weird. There's a little tone in there. I'm trying to think of it. I guess it's the same thing as like if you get like toffee and a little bit of hint of coffee at the same time. That kind of burnt, kind of slightly bitter, but a little bit of a burnt sugar at the same time kind of tonality that's kind of lingering on the palate too. It's like a toffee coffee. Because it's not sweet, it's just like burnt sugars kind of thing. But for less than $5 for a bomber of this at 10.9, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. Right then, it was even right here, even in 2017. Even in 2017, because there you go, Petaluma, California. Doggone good. And in 2017, it was bottled in two places, Petaluma, California, and Chicago, Illinois. Now, the one that I had from Kevin Clements, the sexiest man on YouTube, from Clements Homebrew, that was only in Petaluma, California. Yes, that was their original place, Petaluma. So now they, as far as I know though, I don't know if anyone knows any different. I think they only do two places though, still California, Chicago and Petaluma. That's it. There you go. I mean, there's so many damn breweries that have multiple brewing locations, so I don't know. And honestly, everything, the Lagunitas, like Lagunitas IPA, I still buy it to this day at 19 ounce cans, 19.2 or something like that, stovepipe cans, for $1.80, which is $1 cheaper than most beers at that place. Excuse me, sorry about that. $1 cheaper than most of the beers in that same place. It's the best beer they have. Best beer. I really, and you know, maybe this is just me, and it's, you know, beer's taste is subjective. I've never ever liked Founders Olde IPA. Ever. I hate it. I've always disliked that beer. Always disliked that beer. That probably is the next, what is it? They have New Belgium's beer there, Hop Ranger, Voodoo Ranger, or something like that. That was shit. I tried that. That was really bad. It was just boring. It was just kind of like just lifeless, boring. You know what I mean? Then they had the all-day session Founders, and I've just never liked that beer. So I would say that they're in the big cans. I'm talking about the big cans. In the big cans for $1.80, which is cheaper than the other two. Lagunitas IPA, man, it's good. It's got a nice little brightness in the background, nice little bit of a nice fruity kick, nice little bit of hop quality, a little bitterness, exactly what you want. Bam, boom, bam, $1.80, 19 ounce can, slam and go, pretty good. Yeah, I'm still. I told everybody, and I'm still adamant about this. Once I drink something that I know I used to like and I don't like it anymore, I'm gonna stop drinking it. It's done. Like, I'm done. And once they fuck up something that I like, I'm done in general. Like, no, I'm done. Like, I know you fucked this up. You probably fucked everything else up. Fuck off. And I just haven't had that yet with Lagunitas. I haven't had that moment. I will. I'm pretty goddamn sure I will have that moment. But I haven't had that moment yet, so I'm still drinking it. So there you go. And the prices. The prices have always been exemplary. And honestly, and we've always kind of talked about this a lot, is, you see that? This price, the $4.75, is only maybe 30 cents cheaper than when it was just brewed at Petaluma. And it shows you that that most craft brewing companies are price gouging and fucking the consumer. Because you are. You fucking are. Most of you are completely price gouging and completely fucking the consumer over, because usually, like, again, cappuccino stout, okay, good quality product, really great tasting, vibrant flavors, vibrant everything, $5.19 a bottle, and that was 8-9 years ago. Most craft breweries are fucking you over. They are way overpriced. They are price gouging. They're raping their patrons because they just will buy anything because they don't know any better. And when Joe from the Beer Patrol, Joe, like he's like, I got this sour, you know, it's like $6 a can. That's fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. It is not fine that you just spent $24 on a 5% or 4-pack of 5% sours. It's not fine. That's not fine. There's nothing fine about that. Okay? Like, what the fuck? Or, you know, and he just starts doing that, and then it's like, no, it's not fine. It's not fine. It doesn't matter, even if it's a DIPA. Anything over $4 a can is a ripoff. It's just what it is, okay? Like, it's not cool, man. You're fucking your patrons, you pieces of shit. Now, anything I can get $5. I mean, okay, I'm fine with $5-6 a can if it's a bourbon barrel aged double imperial oatmeal Russian stout that is13% ABV, aged in the craziest fucking willetized, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you know, yeah, you know, and it's that big and it's thick and it's hearty. I'll pay $6 a can. That's fine. But when it's this double dry hopped IPA, it's only $6 a can. You can take that can and shove it up your ass. How about that, bud? You know what I mean? So fuck you. Anyway, I digress. And I'm gonna end this, and I'm gonna say goodbye. And I'm almost near 52 minutes. Actually, I'm over 52 minutes. Well, this has been Paul from PABrewNews with another morning beer. So keep safe,